Live inside Madison Square Garden here in New York City. Lance Bennett on hand. Glad you could join us for the Jordan Brand Classic International Game, which will showcase some of the top 15 to 16-year-olds across the world. We're talking about players that range anywhere from Canada to France to Spain to Lithuania. We're going to see some of the greatest talent that you probably never heard of, but certainly that will be making a name for themselves here on one of the grandest stages in New York City and in the world, and will eventually be making names in the NCAA, whichever respective colleges that they ultimately choose to attend. And certainly a lot of these players getting tremendous attention over the last couple of years. And we will start to take a look at some of them as they are introducing the teams. So let's listen in. This is the white team.
Bennett. The head coach of the home team in white is from Lake Lipton High School in Baltimore, Maryland. And now here's the visiting team in black. At 6 foot from Brazil, number 5, Artur Pecos Fernandes da Silva. At 6'1" from Canada, number 6, Kevin Pangos. At 6'2" from France, number 8, Charlie Margot. At 6'2" from Germany, number 9, Malik Muller. At 6'7" from Senegal, number 10, Jean-Yves Toupin. At 6'7" from Lithuania, number 11, Augustinas Yankaitis. At 6'6" from Spain, number 13, Jorge Sanchez. And at 6'7" from Greece, number 14, Kyprianos Maragus. The coach of the away team is Miles Simon, former assistant coach at the University of Arizona in Tucson. The teams are now ready for their gift exchange.
So there you see the teams now exchanging gifts, which is an honorary ceremony that takes place prior to each and every international game. Herman Harried, as it was announced, is representing the white team on the coaching sidelines. He is the head coach at Lake Clifton High School in Baltimore, Maryland. And Miles Simon, a name that most people may be familiar with back in his days playing at the University of Arizona, in which he led the Wildcats to the 1997 National Championship and was named the most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament. He will be coaching the black team. So players from all different countries and continents across the world put together on the same stage here, Madison Square Garden. Black team will be in their black uniforms with white and gray trim, and the white team will be obviously wearing their white uniforms with gray light blue trim as the black team taking the court. The officials for today's game, Sebastian Mignola, Bill Riley, and Craig Williams. Riley and Williams representing New York City, and Mignola representing Argentina. They'll be playing with international rules. We will have 4 10-minute quarters. They'll be playing with a trapezoidal lane. So those are the two notable international rules that differentiate from the American game. And starting things off at center court will be Anthony Bennett out of Canada and Kyprianos Maragos out of Greece. So it is white team's possession to start. And in possession is Marios Grigonis. Gets it to Carbonell. Drives baseline, kicks it out to Bennett. His triple in and out. And rebounded by Yankaitis. Augustinas Yankaitis out of Lithuania. Hands off to Kevin Pangos, a dynamic guard out of Canada. Bounce pass over to Maragos. Maragos takes a dribble, hook shot, air ball, rebounded underneath by Alexandre Chasang out of France. The 6'7" power forward. The White team lose control of the ball. Here comes the black team. Jorge Sanchez behind the back. Leaves it for Mueller. Top of the key to Maracos. Short. And recovered by Dwayne Notice. Dwayne Notice also out of Canada. Hands things off to Carmelo Betancourt. Plays for Bucapla Basketball Club out of Puerto Rico. Has already been tagged as the next Carlos Arroyo. Leaves it to Dwayne Notice in the corner to Grigonis. Betancourt taking over. Top of the key. Pull-up elbow jumper in and out. And with 8:43 remaining here in the first quarter, we have yet to have our first bucket. Here's Pangos. Gets bumped by Betancourt. And the black team will inbound on the sideline. Pangos, 6'1" guard out of Canada. Goes to Dr. Denison High School in Ontario. He will inbound the basketball. He's considered the most complete point guard in the class of 2011, and he's already been nicknamed Steve Nash 2.0. Here's Mueller, right in front of the three-point line, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Maracos to Pangos. Top of the key jumper up and in, and welcome to the international game, Kevin Pangos. As the black team in front, 2-0, and Pangos told me when I had a chance to attend practice earlier the week, he is looking forward to going up against his fellow Canadian national teammate, Dwayne Notice, who just had the ball, made a pass inside, but we have a foul. It was on the floor, so the white team will hold on to it. Pangos gets charged with the personal. Here's Notice taking over top of the key, swings it to Grigonis, drives baseline, back out to Bennett. And Bennett gets it inside to Chasang, who turns and fires. So we are knotted at 2, the white team on the board. 7:54 and counting here in the first quarter. Pangos leaves it for Sanchez, jumper off the mark. And Betancourt comes out of it. Tries to get the lob up ahead, broken up, though, by Sanchez. Sanchez out of Spain, the 6'6" forward from Real Madrid. Maracos off the mark, rebounded underneath by Yankaitis, and he can't finish with the layup. 7:28 remaining, and we are still knotted at 2. Here's Betancourt. Over to Grigonis. Notice, step back jumper. Connects. Dwayne Notice from St. Michael's High School in Ontario gets his first 2 points. He's also considered one of the top prospects in Canada, and he's teammates with Anthony Bennett, who is on the floor with him, as well as Kevin Pangos, who's on the opposing team on the Canadian national team. As off the mark is Mueller, rebounded underneath by Maracos, and Maracos is fouled. So the foul is going to go against Alexandre Chasang. PA officials said it was on Maracos' teammate, Tupan. But it would be difficult for one teammate to foul the other. So Maracos cannot connect. He's trying to get his team back into this. And he's short on the second. 4-3 in favor of the white team. The white team slowing things down. Betancourt played on the under-16 national team at the FIBA Americas last summer. Puerto Rico wound up finishing 6th. Bennett off the mark from downtown. Long carom saved by Mueller, and Pangos on the run. Pangos weaving in and out of traffic. Hands off with the lob to Yankaitis. And Yankaitis cannot finish. He is fouled. Foul's going to go against Bennett with 6:32 remaining. You can tell the difference between the regional and the international game. They're more concerned with the X's and O's and setting up plays, whereas the regional game, it was just get out and run. Fundamentals stressed a lot on the international scene, and that's what the camp was all about, in which they determined who was going to play in this game. They had chosen 40 players to take part in a camp in Istanbul, Turkey. Over 2 days, they had them go through fundamental drills, strength and conditioning sessions, 5-on-5 and 3-on-3 games, and they ultimately narrowed that down to 20. Those 20 players took part in an all-star game, and from the all-star game, they chose 10 to represent Europe as Betancourt knocks down the jumper and draws the foul. Foul is going to be charged against Yankiidis, as Betancourt will look to complete the three-point play. So that is how they chose the players from Europe from that Istanbul, Turkey camp. The rest were just chosen from coaches and scouts from across the country who were familiar with a lot of players from Asia, from Africa, and from Canada, and Central and South America who watched these players at the FIBA and World Championships. Here's Pangos. Pangos on Betancourt, a very intriguing matchup to keep close eyes on throughout this game. Two of the top point guards in North and South America, as the turnaround jumper by Maracos off the mark. And here comes Betancourt. Betancourt slows things down. It's Herman Harried calling out the play for the white team. Nice split there by Betancourt, but took too many steps, and it will go back to the black team. 7-5 the score in favor of the white team with 5:48 remaining. Pangos looks over to head coach Miles Simon. Pangos coming around a screen set by Yankiidis. Leaves it for Maracos. Long jumper, no good. Pangos grabs the miss. The high floater short. Loose ball tapped around, and Betancourt is going to come down with it. Betancourt orchestrating traffic. And he put a show on at the World Championships. That was really his coming out party, Betancourt, in front of the members of the media and members of the under-19 Puerto Rican team, as Anthony Bennett gets the layup to go. Betancourt really made a name for himself, dazzled the crowds in that game with his passing ability, as Mueller gets on the board for the black team with a 15-footer. 9-8 in favor of the white team, though. Betancourt slowing the pace of this game down. Bounce pass, trying to leave it for Notice. Mueller read it beautifully and deflected the ball out of play. So 4:46 remaining. Timeout on the floor here in the first quarter. It's the white team leading the black team 9-8 as you're watching the Jordan Brand Classic International game here on the High School Basketball Network. The High School Basketball Network is the premium webcasting network. See top high school, AAU, and grassroots games, plus tournaments, leagues, and events like the Jordan Brand Classic, the IS-8 Nike, the Reebok All-American, and the Rumble in the Bronx. The High School Basketball Network can also be your inexpensive internet advertising solution. Video commercials in our webcasts, as well as banner ads on our web pages, get your message across for instant results. By advertising with us, your product or service will reach the global internet community. Go to hsbnetwork.tv to see our top webcasts. Here at Madison Square Garden, the Jordan Brand Classic on display in the world's most famous arena. White team and the black team going head-to-head here in the international game. 9-8 the score in favor of the white team. Players from Canada on hand, as well as France, Lithuania, Italy, Spain, Senegal, Germany, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. As the cheerleaders entertaining the crowd here between timeouts. Crowd slowly filing in throughout the day, part of a triple header here at Madison Square Garden. National game will cap off the festivities, where we'll get a look at some of the top All-Americans in the country. Black team right now struggling from the field, despite trailing by one, just 2 of 12. And now we'll get a look at some new players from each team, whereas the white team 4 of 7 from the field. So for the white team, Anthony Bennett will remain on, as well as Dwayne Notice. They will be joined by Albert Ohms out of Spain, Matteo Ibro out of Italy, who has the basketball. And rounding out the 5 is Francesco Candusi out of Italy as well. And Candusi gets fouled. That'll go against Jorge Sanchez from Spain. So for the black team, Sanchez stays on. He is joined by Charlie Mauro from France, along with Arthur da Silva out of Brazil, Jean Toupane representing Senegal, and staying on the court is Yankiidis out of Lithuania, as Candusi puts in the jumper from the left corner for the white team. 11-8. Toupane in and out. Rebounded by Sanchez. The off-balance hook shot no good, and Notice is there to clear it out. Here's Dwayne Notice on the run. Has great ability for his passing as well as getting to the hoop, and a nice feed. He gets inside to Ohms for a deuce. So give Dwayne Notice the assist. White team pulling away now 13-8 with 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Here's Mauro, down low, gets it to Yankiidis. Inside, feeds it to Yankiidis, who makes his move for the layup. So Yankiidis had it on the wing and made his maneuver down the baseline. It is now 13-10. Black team pulls within 3. Yankiidis out of the Sarunas Academy in Lithuania. Candusi from the corner connects. His second field goal of the game, 15-10. Da Silva, straightaway 3, off the mark. Candusi grabs the rebound, and here comes Notice on the run. Notice down the lane, dribbles past the defender and lays it in. Beat Mauro to the spot, and Notice extends the white team's lead to 7, 17-10. Here's Mauro. He's trying to get some space on Notice and gets called for a traveling violation. It's an 8-2 run now for the white team. Couple of substitutions. Notice and Bennett take a seat. Both of them representing Canada. Betancourt back in. Also back in is Alexandre Chasang out of France, the 6'7" forward. Betancourt down the lane, fakes the pass, and finishes with a rolling layup. Nice move there by Betancourt. We talked about his dazzling ability to pass, but there he takes it himself. Can Da Silva match it? Leaves it for Sanchez. Long 3, far side off the mark. Long carom recovered by Mauro, and he will kick it out to Da Silva to reset. Da Silva out of Brazil. And they're going to get him with an offensive foul. So we'll head back to the white team. Betancourt done a nice job setting the tone for the white team here early on. 19-10 they lead. Crossover dribble by Ohms, gets in trouble. Kicks it out. Helter-skelter play by the white team as Ibro is trying to leave it for Chasang a bit too wide. So the black team also looking to get things straightened out. Last 2 possessions, they've had turnovers. Da Silva leaves it to Toupane. Comes around a screen. In the corner to Sanchez. Sanchez, they're going to say he stepped out. So make it 3 straight turnovers on as many possessions. Betancourt. Representing Puerto Rico, and really Puerto Rico has started to make a name for itself on the basketball landscape. As Betancourt, nice bank shot. Currently 50 players in Division I basketball from Puerto Rico, and that includes Memphis's Pee Wee Garcia, Kansas State's Dennis Clemente, and Nebraska's Brian George Diaz. As Toupane in and out on the jumper, rebounded by Betancourt. Betancourt just everywhere on this court. No look pass inside to Candusi. Can't finish on the layup. Loose ball tapped around. And Candusi still fighting for it with Toupane, and it looks like he's going to win this battle. No ruling for a jump ball. Now finally they do. And Betancourt, who got the feed to Candusi, has 7 points now. That leads the way for the white team. So the possession arrow in favor of the white team, so it will stay with them. No, now they're going to reverse it to the black team. Miscommunication there by the officials, so we'll head back the other way. 21-10, white team in front, $1:09 remaining. Here's De Silva. Took part in the 2009 South American Under-15 Championship game in Colombia. Had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. That is what he averaged during the 7-game tournament. And Canducci fouled, picks up the foul, on Morrow. So Morrow will head to the line. Black team trying to cool off the white team, currently on a 12-2 run. And Morrow off the mark there on the free throw. 6'2", plays for the INSEP club in France. INSEP has produced Tony Parker, currently with the Spurs, and Boris Diaw with the Bobcats. They both attended that program, and it is an institute for sports in Paris. So it's not just for basketball players. Players in all different disciplines attend there from very young ages. Here's Betancourt. Kicks it out top to Chesang. Chesang tried to leave it inside. And nice tip there by De Silva, who leaves it for Morrow for the layup in transition. 21-12 is the score in favor of the white team. The black team trying to fight their way back off the turnover. Ohms in trouble on the baseline. Out to Chesang. Nice feed inside, but can't finish by Ohms. Helter-skelter play. Let's see if Canducci can. Yes, he can on the layup plus the foul. And Canducci will head to the line. Foul is going to go against Jorge Sanchez. Canducci from IB Fogliano in Italy. That is his club. He averaged 11 points per game in the 2009 Under-16 International Tournament in Switzerland. Off the miss, they're going to get it inside to Ohms, who will bank it in. So good ball movement by the white team, and that will do it for the first quarter. 25-12 is the score as the white team ends the first quarter on a 16-4 run. A lot due to the play of Carmelo Betancourt out of Puerto Rico. Doing a great job working the ball around the perimeter and also taking advantage of his own scoring opportunity. So 25-12 the score after one. You're watching the Jordan Brand Classic International game right here on the High School Basketball Network. Festivities continue here between the quarters at Madison Square Garden. It's Carmelo Betancourt and his squad in front by 13. Doing a really nice job orchestrating the offense, setting things up for his teammates. And Betancourt is the only player representing Puerto Rico in this game. The rest of the white team has 2 players from Canada. That's Dwayne Notice and Anthony Bennett, who both played for the Canadian cadet national team. As a fan here made a half-court shot. So, crowd getting into it at the Jordan Brand Classic. Fans are used to that, considering at Knick games, these are normal contests that we see each and every day throughout the season. The Jordan Brand Classic joining in on the fun, and one lucky fan showcased his range from downtown and then some. Well, speaking of downtown, black team did struggle from the field, specifically from beyond the arc at 1 point, 2 of 12 shooting. So they are going to look to get back into rhythm here in the second quarter. So let's set the 5 here for the white team that will have possession. It will be Ohms, Betancourt, Ebro, Chesang, and Canducci. Black team on defense goes with Pangos, Maracos, Maro, Mueller, and Yankeidis. Here's Ohms trying to look for Chesang on the baseline. A bit of a miscommunication there, so we'll go out of play, and it heads back to the black team. Pangos running point.